Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to continue if you live with the Cherokee. But first, let's review our sounds again. Short U and long U. Remember, our short U is our sound. Cub, bump. And then we have three ways of making the long U sound. U consonant E, rule, mule, tune. UE, do, glue, true. And EW, brew, chew, new, screw. All right, yesterday we got the word decorate, which means to try to make something look nicer, to add something to make something look nicer. And then ceremony. A ceremony is a special procedure we do to make an occasion special. For instance, every morning we say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's a ceremony to show how much we love our country. When two adults decide they want to spend their life together, they will have a wedding ceremony. So remember, a ceremony is a noun, and it's a special procedure that we do to make an occasion very special. All right, today we're going to continue If You Live with the Cherokee by Peter and Connie Roop. How did you get your name? You might have several different names during your life. First, your parents named you. 4 to 7 days after your birth, your family held a special ceremony. That was when you got your name. You might be named for something special, such as your eyes or your smile. When you were older, you could add a name or change your name. You might pick a new name to show something important you could do, or you might choose a name to show how you did something difficult or dangerous to describe something about you. If you were a good swimmer, you might be named Anunai, which means swimmer. If you were a happy person, you might wish to be called Ahoika, she who brings happiness. If you were beautiful, you might be named Kamama, butterfly. A good hunter might choose the name Kanadi, lucky hunter. As you grew older, you could change your name again. What would your house be like? You would live in 2 different houses with your large family. One house would be your home in the hot summer months. Your winter home would be nearby. And here's a picture. Your summer home might be made entirely of logs, or it might be made of small trees and stalks of switchgrass, tall bamboo-like cane grass that grew near the river. Posts cut from trees made the frame of the house, and stalks of the dry cane were woven between the posts to make the walls. The cane was then covered with a thin layer of mud. The door to your summer house was a deerskin that could be pulled back to let in sunlight and cool breezes. There was a roof made of tree bark shingles and a hole to let out smoke from the fireplace that was in the center of the house. And here's a picture of your summer house. Your bed would be at one end along with your family's beds. The bed frames were made of woven cane stalks held up by wooden posts. Pine boughs or moss were placed under a woven grass mat for soft bedding like a mattress. Beaver, otter, or buffalo skin blankets kept you warm. Your father's weapons would hang from a wall within easy reach should enemies attack. There would be plenty of room in your summer house for you to weave baskets, repair weapons, or make new deerskin clothes. So here's like the sleeping, like the beds. And see, they're kind of raised frames, but they've got nice mattresses, and you see the weapons. Near your 2 homes would be a small cone-shaped building on tall stilt legs. Corn for planting and eating would be stored in this house. The stilt legs would keep rodents and other animals from stealing your family's precious corn. And here's where they would keep the corn. Your winter house, or asai, was round and had a thatched roof made from reeds shaped like a cone. Your asai had no windows. To enter, you crawled through a small round door. The thick mud walls kept the winter cold out and the heat in. A fire always burned on the hearth in the center of your winter home. Inside the asai, you would be warm all winter as you listened to stories, mended clothes, or played guessing games. Your family's household would be one of dozens in a Cherokee village. And here's the inside of what your winter home would be like. It seems a little bit smaller. All right. So your name could change throughout your lifetime based on, you started with the name your parents gave you, which is how your names start now. But then you could change it based on things you could do or special things about you. And then we talked about the beds, and all the family's beds would be together, and they would keep the weapons close because you might wake up in the middle of the night and need to defend yourselves. So it was interesting. It's the summer and winter months seemed very different. It seemed like in the summertime they were very, very busy making things and getting things ready, and then in the winter time was more of a closer time where you just sat and talked and played stories because it was so cold outside. There wasn't as much that you could do outside. It's interesting. All right, listen tomorrow and we'll find out more about if you lived with the Cherokee.